Today's show brought to you in part by GoToMeeting. For a free 30-day trial, use code podcast at gotomeeting.com.
Move over, Rover. Heartworms aren't just for dogs anymore. Next on Tales from the Road.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Road. This is episode 113. Of course, I am joined by Dr. Jill Windy. Thanks for being with us again.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about feline heartworm disease. Last week we talked about canine. I'm trying not to mix the two words here. But the interesting thing I found within our notes here is that there was kind of a myth that cats didn't get heartworms.
Yes.
Not the case.
Not the case. Not the case. And there's all kinds of new information that's coming out about that a lot. We always used to think of heartworms as a dog disease. We didn't think cats even could get them. And now heartworm has been discovered in like over 30 species. Penguins actually get heartworm too.
Oh, so the little penguins.
Yeah. So just, very, very varied species. It's not just, not just species cousins that will get that.
Gotcha.
So,
good to know. So here I go. Canine,
Yeah,
feline.
no.
Felines. It's a little hard to detect though. Is what you're saying?
It's insanely difficult. It is. It's very nebulous because their heartworm infections are very, very different from dog infections. Dogs typically tend to have a lot of them. The screening test that we do for heartworm in dogs is actually one of the antigens that only the female worms carry. Cats maybe only will have 1 or 2 heartworms total, and if they happen to be both boys or if they happen to be same-sex and not producing a lot of little new baby heartworms and that kind of thing, can be very difficult to detect them. So sometimes we have to combine an antigen test, an antibody test, x-rays, our physical exam. I mean, we have to kind of get this whole picture thing going.
Yeah. Ugh.
Just to diagnose it.
Speaking of pictures, we've got a picture here.
I brought those ones for you, Courtney.
Thank you. It's been a while, but I knew you wouldn't disappoint. Really gross things is what we refer to you as doing.
That's right.
Bringing in the pictures.
So yeah. So one of the so what does a heartworm look like? So the picture that we're going to see here is actually a picture of what's called a necropsy, which is an autopsy basically of a cat that died suddenly. Looked totally fine, normal, and just keeled over dead. So what happened here is we look in the heart, and there's actually the worm. We actually took it out of where it was living and put it around there so you could see it better. But that is a heartworm, and it was the only one that we could find in that cat, but it was enough to kill it.
Yikes. That's sad. You're telling me that on the way in. It's just, you never want that to happen to any pet. And especially with the kind of myth going around that cats don't get it, you're not looking out for it. So it's just something to be aware.
Cats are inside. They don't have problems. They're self-sufficient. So you battle all these things. So what does a cat with heartworm look like? Not just a heart with heartworm, but a cat with heartworm. You can have any picture of any cat on the universe, and that is what a cat with heartworm will look like.
Because you can't tell.
See.
You can't tell.
You can't see it from the outside.
So heartworm is it if a cat is outside more, or what causes the heartworm to come about?
Heartworms are carried by mosquitoes. And
those
since
mosquitoes, they cause a lot of problems.
They cause a lot of problems. So mosquitoes can come indoors, and so actually even indoor-only cats that never, ever go outside can still get heartworm disease. And actually, they get the same infection rates nearly as outdoor cats. So it really is truly an indoor cat parasite risk. And with the problem that we have is that the heartworms will actually can hide. While the heartworm is alive, it suppresses the immune system around itself, and so the body doesn't see it, and they live quite comfortably together. What happens, though, is when the heartworm dies, then it can no longer suppress the immune system around it, and the cat's body goes, oh my God, there's a heartworm here, and it completely freaks out. And we'll actually see, we've got a couple of pictures of what a normal lung looks like. Now this is microscopically what the actual cells look like, and it looks like just this big web of tissue, just almost like a little, almost lacy. And then in the next picture, we'll see the picture of what a heartworm positive cat looks like. They make such an intense response that it actually closes off some of the vessels in the airways. And this is why our cats have problems.
Yikes.
So, yeah.
I was going to say,
Bad
when you're
news.
saying the mosquitoes, which I didn't know that was from, even
Yeah.
we kept the claws on our cats because we would like to eventually, if they want to go outside and come back in,
yeah.
they can. But how many times are you in your house in the summer going, doing that thing? They come
Absolutely.
inside. They're
They
like
come
that
inside.
big and
or you wake, and they're like, oh, we don't get heartworms in our, we don't get mosquitoes in our house. But you like wake up with that random mosquito
you're,
bite on you
doing
that you didn't know.
Where did this come
You're
from?
like,
Oh,
where'd
it
that
must
go?
have been outside last night. No,
Exactly.
it was in your house. All right, well, we're going to
Yeah.
take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about prevention and how to get rid of these or prevent these heartworms.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Gabe, want to go for a walk? Gabe? Gabe? Gabe?
Hey, buddy, you lost? Hold on.
If your pet is the adventuresome type, be sure he's connected to Pet Hub. A quick scan using any smartphone shares your pet's vital information so that even his wildest escapades have a happy ending. Pet Hub, reuniting pets with their families.
Come on, Gabe, let's go home.
All right, so prevention is key. Again, sounds repetitive, but it's important, and that's why we keep repeating it. So let's talk about prevention. How can we prevent?
Okay. Prevention is actually very, very simple. There are some very, very good products that you can talk over which one might be best with your own veterinarian, but there are a few that are out there that are very, very good. People say, well, which one's the best? Which one works the best? And I say, the one that gets used. So that's the one that works the best. So there's a lot of different combination products that combine with flea control and other parasite control and that kind of thing. So again, you guys need to talk between you and your veterinarian and figure out which one of those. But they're typically you give them once a month, and we do use them year round because the biggest thing we need to remember is that mosquitoes are out way more than we think they are. They're out really, really early, and they're out way, way late in the year. And we actually have these things called that are little climate troughs in more urban areas that actually stays warmer than out in rural areas. So the mosquito populations will actually change depending even if you're urban or rural. So you just keep them on it year round. Don't worry about it. Because those lung changes that we saw in those pictures earlier, those are permanent. So the heartworms are gone. They died. But those are permanent. And if you've ever seen a cat who can't breathe, a lot of these heartworm cats actually get diagnosed as feline asthmatics or chronic allergic bronchitis. And they're actually from heartworm. So, and that's forever. So just don't go there.
Exactly. And especially if you are traveling. This is just so important. When you are traveling, you are taking your pets, your felines in particular, because we're talking about felines in this episode, into different environments. Whether they're still inside the RV or not, there's different air, there's different things. And maybe where you're at in your part of the country, there's not as many as mosquitoes, which that happens. You might be taking them to Florida or somewhere really muggy and gross where there's tons of mosquitoes, i.e. Indiana in the summer. So
Indiana has heartworm.
It's all over. So just be aware, prevent, and be on the lookout. So we'll probably dive in this again, I'm sure, down the road and talk more. And if you've got a dog, we did canines last week, so be sure to check out that episode. Good stuff. Next week's show, which kind of can tie into any of these shows, is internet research. It's probably the first place you go to find out information. We're going to talk about what's good to look for, what's bad to look for, just some science to look out.
Fabulous double-edged sword that is the internet.
It is. I was telling Dr. Jill with these new kitties I've got one cat that likes to eat all the food.
Yes.
And
So
I Googled. How do I make my cat stop eating the other cat's food? Probably.
And what she found out when she Googled was that she just needed to come talk to me.
Yeah, that I needed to come to talk to my own vet. So that's it. So, of course, Tales from the Road has a pin board on RVNN's Pinterest. Be sure to check it out. We'll have lots of cute pet pictures and information. Of course, we're on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. Check us out on all those great places. And I guess we'll just call it a day, and we'll see you next time.